Elon Musk was sleeping on Tesla's factory floor, broke and desperate. Warren Buffett lost hundreds of millions on a single investment. Oprah got fired and told she was unfit for television. These aren't their success stories. These are their disasters. And billionaires study their failures more obsessively than their wins, because failure taught them money principles that success never could. Your worst financial mistake? It might be your most valuable education. Today I'm revealing 8 lessons from billionaire financial disasters that will completely change how you handle money. Think about your biggest money failure as we go through these, and drop a comment about which lesson hits home. Here's the truth nobody talks about. These billionaire disasters contain financial secrets way more valuable than their successes. The moments when they lost everything were actually the moments that made them unstoppable with money. Most people study success stories and learn nothing useful about handling finances. But the people who study failure stories, they discover the real blueprints for building wealth that lasts. Lesson 1. Financial transparency creates authentic trust and opportunities. In 2018, Tesla was burning through $500 million per quarter with production, failing on the Model 3. Instead of hiding this dire financial situation, Musk made it public. He tweeted about production problems, admitted to investors they were weeks from bankruptcy, and was transparent about the company's cash burn rate. The financial media was destroying Tesla's stock price. Short sellers were betting billions the company would collapse. Any normal CEO would have pretended everything was fine. But Musk did the opposite. He showed everyone exactly how bad the financial situation was. Instead of losing customer confidence, Tesla gained the most loyal fan base in automotive history. People started rooting for the company, not because it was winning financially, but because they watched it fight through absolute financial hell. The transparency about money problems created something no amount of marketing could buy: genuine, emotional investment in Tesla's financial success. This applies directly to your personal finances. When you're dealing with debt, failed investments, or business losses, your instinct is probably to hide the financial reality. But transparency about money problems often opens doors that shame keeps locked. If you're struggling financially, write down your exact situation: income, expenses, debts, assets. Share this with someone you trust. You'll be amazed how often honesty about financial difficulties leads to helpful solutions, payment plans, or opportunities you never knew existed. When creditors see you're being honest instead of avoiding them, they're more willing to work with you. Have you found that being transparent about financial struggles actually helped? Let me know in the comments. Lesson 2. Personal financial failures reveal your true money values. Oprah got fired from her first television job in Baltimore for being too emotionally involved in stories. For most people, losing your dream job and salary would be devastating. But for Oprah, losing that steady paycheck became the financial wake-up call that changed everything. Before she got fired, Oprah was chasing someone else's version of financial success. She was trying to fit into what she thought would bring traditional career advancement and salary increases. She was playing a financial character instead of building wealth aligned with her authentic strengths. When she lost that income, she faced a brutal financial truth. The version of career success she was pursuing wasn't sustainable because it wasn't authentic to who she was. Instead of trying to rebuild the same type of career for the same paycheck, she stripped away all pretense and decided to build financial success around being completely, authentically herself. That radical honesty about her true values became her financial superpower. When she got another television opportunity, she wasn't chasing someone else's salary model. She was building wealth around her authentic strengths, connecting with people emotionally, and telling stories that mattered. This principle applies to every aspect of your financial life. Your investment failures often happen when you chase trends instead of investing according to your actual risk tolerance. Your budget failures happen when you try to live someone else's lifestyle instead of spending according to your real values. Your career stagnation happens when you pursue money in fields that drain your energy instead of leveraging your natural strengths. Look at your recent financial decisions that didn't work out. Ask yourself, was I chasing someone else's financial dreams or building my own? When you align your money decisions with your authentic values instead of external expectations, you make better long-term financial choices. Lesson 3. Strategic financial mistakes create innovation breakthroughs. Jan Koum's WhatsApp was losing money with a complex pricing model in the early days. They tried charging for premium features, subscription tiers, and various monetization strategies. Users were confused about costs, revenue was inconsistent, and the business model was failing financially. Most tech companies would have doubled down on complex revenue streams or pivoted to advertising models. But Koum's financial struggles taught him something that completely changed the business direction. He realized users didn't want another app with complicated pricing and hidden costs. They wanted something financially simple and transparent. The failure with complex monetization forced him to strip everything back to the most basic model possible. A simple 99-cent annual fee, no premium features, no advertising revenue, no data collection. Just straightforward, honest pricing that users could understand and budget for. This financial simplification wasn't the original plan. It was a response to financial failure. But that response created WhatsApp's defining characteristic: financial transparency and user privacy. And that characteristic made it worth $19 billion when Facebook bought it. This happens constantly in personal finance. Netflix started as a struggling DVD rental service before financial pressure forced them to innovate with streaming. Amazon's bookstore business was barely profitable before struggles pushed them to become the everything store. Apply this to your money management. That complicated investment strategy that's losing you money. That budget system with 47 categories you can't stick to. Sometimes, the best financial breakthrough comes from stripping back to basics that actually work. If you're overcomplicating your finances, try this. Spend less than you earn. Automate your savings. Invest in low-cost, diversified funds. The financial innovation you need might not be more complexity. It might be more simplicity. What financial system are you overcomplicating that could be simplified? Share in the comments. Investment failures. Reveal hidden financial vulnerabilities. Warren Buffett invested heavily in US Air in the late 1980s. The airline industry went through massive changes with deregulation and price wars, and his investment lost hundreds of millions of dollars. For most people, losing that much money would be devastating, but Buffett did something different. He publicly admitted the mistake in his annual letter to shareholders. He called it one of his worst investments and explained exactly what he got wrong. He didn't understand the airline industry's economics and invested outside his circle of competence. That public honesty about investment failure revealed something crucial. Even the best investors make terrible decisions when they venture outside their knowledge base. The difference between good investors and great investors isn't that great investors never fail. It's that they're completely honest about their failures and use them to improve their investment process. This lesson about humility in investing became core to Buffett's philosophy. He developed stricter criteria for investments, focusing only on businesses he truly understood. He created better systems for evaluating companies and got better at admitting when he was wrong quickly, instead of holding on to losing positions. Here's how this applies to your investments. Document your 3 worst investment decisions and identify the common pattern. Were you chasing hot trends without understanding the underlying business? Investing money you couldn't afford to lose? Following tips from social media instead of doing research? Buying stocks outside your knowledge area? Use these patterns to create your personal never again investment rules. Maybe your rule becomes never invest in individual stocks I can't explain to a 10-year-old, or never invest more than 5% of my portfolio in speculative assets. The investment failure made Buffett more money in the long run because it taught him how to avoid similar mistakes. Your investment failures can do the same, but only if you study them honestly. Lesson 5. Business financial crises develop money, empathy, and community. Howard Schultz almost lost Starbucks during the 2008 financial crisis. When he returned as CEO, the company was hemorrhaging money. They were closing hundreds of stores, laying off thousands of employees, and losing their financial footing as competitors gained market share. Schultz had to make brutal financial decisions. He closed over 600 stores in the US. He laid off thousands of employees who had trusted the company with their careers. He watched people who had believed in Starbucks' mission lose their jobs because of strategic financial mistakes he had made or allowed to happen. For someone who built his identity around taking care of employees, this financial crisis was devastating. But those failures taught Schultz that caring about people wasn't just about good financial times. Real financial leadership meant taking responsibility when money got tight and doing whatever it took to fix problems, even when it meant making painful, short-term cuts to ensure long-term survival. After the financial crisis, Starbucks became more socially conscious with their profits than ever. Schultz started programs to hire refugees and veterans, provide college tuition coverage for employees, and create jobs in underserved communities. The near financial collapse taught him that successful companies have a responsibility to use their financial success to solve bigger societal problems. This principle applies to your personal finances too. When you've experienced financial hardship, losing a job, dealing with medical debt, struggling to pay bills, you develop financial empathy that makes you better with money long term. You're more likely to build emergency funds, help family members during tough times, and make financial decisions that consider the impact on others. If you've been through financial struggles, use that experience constructively. Share what you learned about budgeting, debt management, or career transitions with others starting their financial journey. Financial empathy, understanding what it's like to worry about money, is actually a superpower for building lasting wealth. Lesson 6. Financial scaling problems force better money systems. Sara Blakely started Spanx with $5,000 and tried to manage everything herself: accounting, inventory tracking, cash flow management, order processing. For years, this DIY financial approach worked because the business was small and manageable. But as Spanx grew, Blakely hit a financial management wall. She was working 18-hour days and still couldn't keep up with the money side of the business. Orders were getting delayed because she couldn't track inventory properly. Cash flow was unpredictable because she was managing everything in spreadsheets. She was burning out, and the financial chaos was hurting the business. The failure to scale her financial management taught her something crucial. You can't build a big business with small business money management systems. Financial success requires creating systems that can handle growth without your constant personal attention. She started hiring people better than her at specific financial tasks. She found a CFO who could manage cash flow forecasting. She implemented inventory management software that tracked stock levels automatically. She set up accounting systems that categorized expenses without her manual input. More importantly, she learned how to build financial systems that would maintain the company's fiscal health, even when she wasn't personally managing every transaction. She created approval processes for large expenses and automated systems for recurring payments. Your personal finances work exactly the same way. If you're still manually tracking every expense in a notebook, trying to time the market with individual stock picks, or managing your budget with complicated spreadsheets you constantly update, you're limiting your financial growth. Success requires building financial systems that protect and grow your money even when life gets busy. Automate your savings so money gets invested before you can spend it. Use financial apps that sync your accounts and categorize transactions automatically. Set up automatic bill pay so you never miss payments. The goal is to create financial systems that work in your favor without constant attention. What financial task are you still doing manually that's taking too much time? What money management process could you automate? Drop your answers in the comments. Lesson 7. Repeated financial crises build unshakable money, mental toughness. Jeff Bezos nearly killed Amazon multiple times in the early years, and each financial crisis built his tolerance for monetary uncertainty in ways business school never could have taught him. In 1999, Amazon was burning through cash so fast they were weeks from bankruptcy. The dot-com crash made it almost impossible to raise additional funding. Competitors with better financial backing were trying to destroy them with price wars. The financial media was calling Amazon a failure, driving down the stock price and making it harder to raise money. Most entrepreneurs would have panicked and made desperate financial decisions. They would have sold the company at a discount, shut down operations, or pivoted to a safer business model. But Bezos had already been through so many financial near-death experiences that this crisis was just another problem to solve methodically. In Amazon's early garage days, they were constantly running out of money to buy inventory. Bezos was packing books himself to save on labor costs. They were using doors as desks to minimize furniture expenses. Systems were constantly breaking down, requiring expensive fixes they could barely afford. Each financial crisis built Bezos's mental resilience and taught him how to operate under extreme monetary pressure. When the dot-com crash hit and everyone predicted Amazon would die, he had already survived so many cash flow emergencies that he knew how to stay calm and focus on solutions instead of panicking. This mental toughness from repeated financial crises became Amazon's competitive advantage. While other companies panicked during economic downturns and made short-sighted financial cuts, Amazon kept investing in long-term growth. While competitors reduced customer service during tough times to save money, Amazon doubled down on customer satisfaction. This applies directly to your personal financial resilience. Every market crash you survive, every debt you pay off after financial setbacks, every time you rebuild your savings after unexpected expenses, these experiences build your financial mental muscles. If you're facing financial difficulties right now, document how you're handling this challenge. Write down the specific steps you're taking, the creative solutions you're finding. This record will serve as proof of your financial resilience during future setbacks. The person who's never faced financial adversity often crumbles when money problems arise because they have no experience managing financial stress. But you're developing skills that people who've never struggled with money simply don't possess. Financial legacy is built through crisis management, not just returns. When we remember these billionaires, we don't remember their financial wins or stock returns. We remember their financial comebacks and how they handled money disasters. We remember Musk sleeping on the factory floor when Tesla was burning cash. We remember Oprah being told she was unfit for television and building a media empire anyway. We remember Jobs getting fired from Apple and returning to save the company from bankruptcy. We remember Disney's first animation studio going bankrupt and him building the most valuable entertainment brand in the world. The stories that inspire us aren't about people who never faced financial failure. They're about people who lost money spectacularly and kept building wealth anyway. The financial legacy isn't built on investment returns. It's built on how they handled financial disasters. This changes everything about how you should think about your own money setbacks. Every investment loss you're dealing with right now isn't evidence that you're bad with money. It's training. It's building your financial character. It's forcing you to develop money management skills that people who never struggle with finances never develop. The financial problems that feel like they're destroying your wealth-building plans might actually be preparing you for financial success bigger than you can imagine. The lessons you learn from financial failure often become more valuable than the money you lost. Learning them, your financial legacy, the story people will tell about how you handled money isn't going to be built on your investment returns during good times. It's going to be built on how you responded when your finances fell apart, how you rebuilt after losses, how you learned from mistakes and came back stronger. Here's the thing. Nobody wants to admit, we've been thinking about financial failure completely backwards our entire lives. Society teaches us that money mistakes are something to avoid and hide when they happen. We pretend our investment portfolios are performing better than they are. We treat financial setbacks like personal moral failures instead of educational experiences. But look at what actually happened to these billionaires. Their financial failures weren't obstacles to their wealth. Their financial disasters were the foundation of their wealth. Every single money crisis taught them something that financial success never could have taught them. The financial failures weren't random bad luck they overcame despite the odds. The money disasters were the exact experiences they needed to become people who could build and maintain billion-dollar wealth. So what does this mean for your financial life? You need to stop running from money mistakes and start studying them systematically. When investments go wrong, when budgets fail, when financial plans collapse, instead of asking, why does this always happen to me? Start asking, what is this financial failure teaching me that I couldn't learn any other way? Your financial failures aren't proof that you're broken or bad with money. They're proof that you're trying financial strategies that matter, taking risks that could lead to significant wealth building. They're developing financial judgment that comfortable people never develop. They're building money management wisdom that will serve you for the rest of your life. The next time something goes completely wrong with your finances, whether it's an investment loss, business failure, job loss, or major unexpected expense, remember these billionaire stories. The financial disaster that feels like an ending might actually be your wealth-building beginning. Which of these lessons hit closest to home for you? Drop a comment sharing your biggest financial lesson learned through failure. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to keep going after their own money setback. Hit subscribe for more brutal truths about money and wealth building that nobody wants to talk about, and ring that notification bell so you never miss our weekly financial reality checks. What financial topic should we cover next? Let me know in the comments below. Your suggestion might become our next deep dive into the psychology of money.